Hello, class. This is my practicum project for University 4110. My name is Courtney Reed, and I'll get started. So, just to start off with an introduction, this project consisted of 5 different interviews of 5 different legal professions. The purpose basically was to introduce students to different career paths and learn about the journeys of each individual. The mythology, okay, so for attorney David E. Gordon, I simply secured him by calling around different law firms, searching for an attorney to talk to. Once I called his office, his assistant said he would be more than welcome to speak with me and help. He had like 20 minutes of free time, and that's how it got started. Paralegal Ashley Sutton, I secured her by calling her firm, the Cochran firm, and they were closed at the time, so it directed me to the regional office, and I spoke with the receptionist there. And she said that she would forward my message to the Memphis office. And later on, I received an email from Miss Sutton saying that she would be more than happy to let me interview her. Officer Byron Willis, I secured him because he is an officer, a part of my mom's friend's foundation. Her son was killed in an accidental shooting, so she has a foundation named after her son, and he is a police officer advocate for gun violence, and he's a part of my mom's friend's foundation, and that is how I was able to meet him, and he was more than happy to help. Miss Rochelle Cooper, I was able to secure her. She also was a friend of my mom's coworker, and she said she would be more than happy to assist me with this project. Stephanie Branch, she simply is my family member. She's my cousin's mom, and so of course she didn't mind me interviewing her at all. So, Mr. David E. Gordon, he is the head attorney at law office of David E. Gordon here in Memphis. Gordon began his journey around 1978. He talked to his father and he recommended law school to explore his options. He specializes in motor vehicle accidents, falls in department stores, apartment complexes, and yes, basically personal injury law is his thing. He's been doing it for over 40 years. His days are spent talking to prospective clients and people who have been injured. He also talks to insurance companies to settle client claims. He believes customer service is essential because, as you know, clients have many choices today, so it is the lawyer whose practice is centered around their clients. This gets business and referrals. The highlight of his career was when he won a case that prevented all companies in Tennessee providing essential services to citizens from employing deceptive tactics of gaining a signature waiving legal liability. It was an honor to be able to interview Attorney Gordon because growing up in Memphis, I saw him on TV. He had commercials. So he's basically like a celebrity lawyer here in Memphis. It's not someone that you would think you could get in contact with. And if I were to practice here at home, my goal would be to reach his level or go beyond. So, Miss Ashley Sutton, paralegal, she works for the Cocken firm here in Memphis. Miss Sutton actually started out as a receptionist and eventually moved to the legal assistant position. She started out filing and collecting medical records. Miss Sutton did not attend school. She simply just worked her way up. She was interested in learning more about legal proceedings, litigation, how the court system works, and how cases proceed through the legal system. She is always on call for the attorney. Her day consists of locating documents, scheduling conferences, checking court dates, emails, preparing attorneys for court, depositions, giving clients updates, and lots of filing. She's always a step ahead of her attorney. She believes organization is important because of how high the volume of this job consists of. She always keeps a calendar and she uses lots of paper. She advises that you check and double check your files. It was an honor to interview Miss Ashley due to the fact that she works for the Cocken firm here in Memphis, and that is a nationwide office. The the infamous late Johnny Cochran is like a very known name in the legal field. So this was awesome to be able to go to the office and physically meet her. She was even willing to help me seek future employment with the office, and she gave me some great advice of how I should get started out in this field as a beginner paralegal. Mr. Officer Byron Willis, he works for the Memphis Police Department Felony Response Unit. Uh, Mr. Willis became a police officer because he thought he could be the change. He thought he could save his community. He wanted to represent people who looked like him, treat them like family. He stated that people of color and different nationalities did not get the respect they deserved, and he wanted to be the person who changed that. A typical day for him involves going out and investigating critical incidents within Memphis city limits, including shootings, stabbings, aggravated assault, car thefts, and burglary. He said to be a great police officer takes a great attitude, patience, being able to connect the dots, understanding, and being able to just connect with people in general. Like any other job, you want to satisfy your customers. He believed diversity training was most important because on the job, you deal with all kinds of people. This training gave him the ideal of what it may look like when he encountered real life situations. His spiritual beliefs and personal beliefs help him to remain calm in intense situations. He likes to put himself in the victim or the person's shoes. He would advise a young, upcoming police officer to not be encouraged by outsiders and naysayers. He said it's best that you see for yourself. He stated to treat people fairly, treat them with integrity, and they will respect you more so than you having a badge. Officer Willis, I really enjoyed him. He's probably one of the nicest policemen I've ever met. He really values taking care of his city and his community, and I love that. By me being here from Memphis, I respect his work ethics. I wish all officers were like Officer Willis. He is proof that not all cops are bad cops. Legal investigator, Rochelle Cooper. She works for the West Tennessee Drug Task Force. Miss Cooper started off as a police transcriptionist and she was promoted to investigator specialist. Once she became an investigator specialist, she worked a big game case and the district attorney recommended her to become a legal investigator. She attended the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy in Nashville for 14 weeks. She also has a criminal justice degree. She has been at the district attorney's office since 2001. Before COVID, she worked in the special prosecution unit, which was made of 5 prosecutors, 1 secretary, 1 legal investigator, and 1 victim witness coordinator. They deal with crimes a person commits repeatedly. In her position, she likes to make sure the victim and witnesses are satisfied because it is a traumatic experience when someone is murdered in front of you. She advises that to acquire this position, it takes patience, communication, and a great attitude. You must have an up and go spirit, and you want to get the job done. When she worked in homicide, she had to relocate someone she grew up with. This person's mom babysat her and her sister as children. So this was a very emotional situation for her. She said she just never knew that she would have to investigate someone she knew, and it made her uncomfortable. Miss Cooper was by far my favorite interview. She was so informative. She told me so much, but of course, I couldn't fit it all in one slide. But I do have everything that she told me written down in my knowledge. She told me literally about her entire journey as to how she got to where she is today. And she taught me to value networking and talk to whoever I can. And she was also willing to help me with future employment. Corrections Officer Stephanie Branch. She works for the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. Miss Branch became a corrections officer simply because she was a single mom and she seen that the jail was hiring positions. A typical day for her includes checking with her sergeants to see what area she is assigned to. She gets printouts and daily rosters before she goes to the pod. She does a daily head count and wellness check for everyone. She has about 4 pods a day. She said this job is respect-based. You will not receive respect if you do not demand it and take the inmates seriously. She says staff shortage is a main security risk. She has never had to use self-defense, but she has had to pepper spray inmates when they are fighting to seduce them. To perform this job, make sure it is something you want to do because it is not for the weak, she advised. You must have a strong mind if you want to stay and advance yourself in the ranks. It was against her policy to provide me with a photo. But overall I enjoyed this interview because she was able to paint an image of what it was like working in a jail environment. She has done this job for quite some time now. Her daughter is 24 years old. So I believe that she's been doing this since her daughter was maybe 2 or 3 years old. And she seems to love what she does. And she is actually about to get ready and retire. Well, that is it. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to leave them below. Bye.